Very good morning, everyone. Welcome to Elite Currency. This live webinar, is going to take a look at the Forex market and specifically using HARP. What is HARP? Well, it's basically stands for Heikinashi Range Price. It combines basically the candlesticks of Heikinashi and range bars for a strategy that we use to tackle the Forex market. All right, so that is just a quick introduction, and we'll be taking a look at the charts, live charts, in just a second. First of all, though, because we are looking at the Forex market, we do have to warn any viewers here of the live webinar or recording that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not advice and not to be considered advice. And by continuing watching this webinar or recording, you agree with this disclaimer. You can find out more information at our website, elitecurrency.com/risk dash disclaimer /. And by continuing, you are also aware of the risk involved when trading. All right, quick introduction about us. Well, Nenad is not with us today, but Nenad and I both Forex traders, and we do analysis and webinars with Admiral Markets. And Admiral Markets is a famous broker. They won the MT4 UK Broker Award this year. So something maybe to think about, admiralmarkets.com. So, perhaps you know Nenad as well from, for instance, Forex Factory, and we do analysis there as well. So enough about us. We're going to take a look at HARP today. HARP rules for beginners, basically just a quick introduction, 2 slides, and we'll move on to the charts, no worries. HARP rules, though, just to get a bit of a feeling for what we're looking for. Basically, what we're doing is identifying the trend, trying to see if the trend is exhausted or doesn't have enough energy left to continue. Then we're looking for a pullback and a continuation in that trend. That's basically what HARP is all about. Trading with the trend at smart spots where the trend has still power to continue, looking for pullback and a continuation. Something, for instance, along the lines of this, as you can see, something like that for downside, or this for upside. We're looking basically with HARP to enter right about here, right about here. Not the immediate turnaround, not the very first moment that price is restarting that trend, but after slight confirmation, so that we have a bit of confirmation, but not too much that we enter too late. That's kind of the whole philosophy here. All right. So that is if you start out with HARP. We have 2 templates to make the process easier and more comprehensive. We have a bit of different kind of rules for advanced traders because we use only 1 template. In that case, we only look at range price. You can always look at Heikinashi. It's never wrong to look at Heikinashi. In fact, even advanced traders should look at 2 templates, but we use the Heikinashi for take profits and for exits. All right. For more advanced traders, you can only use range price in your analysis and trading at first, because basically we could just use it for all phases in a way. So there's a bit of a difference there. But as beginners, we want basically to use the Heikinashi because it's a bit easier to spot the trend. Or let me say it this way, it's a bit more conservative way of looking at the trend. It's not easier, but more conservative, I should say. So that's just a quick introduction of what we're looking for. All right. Now, let me now take a look at the live charts so we can see what's going on in the market. Perhaps you already saw my webinar about 2 hours ago at Admiral Markets, and you know already what I was looking at. Pound USD short. Price is bouncing a bit up again. USD reversal trade is not really happening, right? Price is falling, is breaking to the downside, is breaking. Odd USD is moving down, but making some bullish movement. There are some things happening. Euro yen at the moment. We're going to take a look at that and see which trades make sense potentially for the trading from Nenad and myself. Now, bear in mind that now I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh yeah. Let's take a look at the analysis template. We're going to start with the analysis template. As I said, it's not always needed for advanced traders, but it's good because it's good to be more conservative as a beginning trader. Beginning traders often have the problem of overtrading, chasing too many setups, etc. So that's why we recommend being more conservative when you start out and not overtrading. All right. So let me grab the charts here. As you can see, that was a bit of a warning. We've got warning systems in place too for scalping templates that give pop-up messages, So that's useful. Let's take a look at a bit of these analysis templates for the beginners, let's say. All right. Once you get more experience, you wouldn't have to do that. You would probably use this only for exits. And you can see that the euro dollar has been correcting up. Still is really regarded as a ranging environment. Why? Simply because we have a text that says so. That's pretty simple. That's why this is a good beginner's template, because it just says what the environment is. So you don't have to really speculate about it too much. It just says ranging. So from that point of view, we could already move on to the next pair. But I mean, from an analytical point of view, we could add that probably if we get a good breakout candle here, that the potential to fall further down could be there. Now, one thing though that I want to mention is that a 4-hour chart, there's a lot of divergence between the bottoms. So from my personal perspective, I'm not a big fan of euro dollar downside at this moment. Yes, it could move down, but just because of a lot of that divergence, you want to be careful, I think, with downside, and you can see that divergence here on the hourly chart too. So that's one reason I'm not really a big fan of euro dollar at the moment. It's also in a range. So let's move over. That's a pretty quick analysis, but I think we don't need much more to make that. Pound USD, it says ranging, but I think in this case we can overrule that a bit with the fact that yes, it's ranging. Maybe it says ranging here, but obviously we see a good trend. The moving averages are aligned. We see Heikin-Ashi candles here strongly pointing to the downside. We see new red candles kicking in and prices below the pivot point, below the main pivot here, a daily pivot. So yes, I think this is a good chance of a daily downtrend continuation on the pound USD. So I think pound USD can be marked on the list of potential currency pairs to look for shorts. Dollar yen ranging, prices moving up, not interesting at the moment. That's how fast we can really look at it. AUD USD is in the uptrend at the moment, and is retracing as we speak. So that could be interesting. Upside USD, you can put that on the watch list. Kiwi retracing, and it's in a trend. Might be worth keeping upside in mind. Dollar CAD is ranging. Dollar Swissy is ranging. Your AUD is in a downtrend, right? So that might be something to keep an eye on. Pound AUD 2 downtrend. Euro New Zealand, pound New Zealand as well. So, basically we looked at it. I've been talking with it as well, but you can see that you can do that pretty quickly, obviously. Now, you can add some analysis if you want. You can look at different things. You can look at the moving average. You can look at the oscillator strength, and perhaps in some cases, some of these ranging charts, like the pound USD, are still worth considering. If you want to keep it simple and only look at the ones that really are powerful and strong and trending, it could be that quick as well. So that depends on how much analysis you really want to do at any point in time, and that choice is up to you. If you want to put more time in analysis, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well, as you can see. So let's move on. We'll keep in mind the ones that I thought are the most interesting ones, which is the pound, Aussie, Kiwi, and the crosses basically at this point. So let's go to the HARP range bar analysis template. Okay, so I got to switch templates. Just take a few seconds because it has to load all the other data. And in the meantime, I do have a lot of data on this platform. So a lot of templates, a lot of indicators. So sometimes that could take, especially if I have multiple things going on as a computer, it can take a bit of time to load it, maybe half a minute. This is taking a bit longer than usual, maybe because of the webinar that's going on at the same time. All right, let me close it and restart it because that shouldn't take that long either. All right, there we go. So I think you get the drift. Now we're going to look at range bars, and basically what we're looking now is within those currency pairs that we've identified as interesting. What I'm looking for is basically the pullback of the story. The trend has been identified. That part is clear. But what I'm looking for now is the follow through. Really, is there a bit of a discount that we can get, and is then the continuation visible? That's the stuff I'm looking for with regard to HARP and the currency pairs that I just mentioned. Now, by the way, let me maybe use the time here as it's a bit annoying when it's happening live. I'm not sure why it's um, taking so much time. I might even think about refreshing this MT4 platform because I think I just have too much data on it, to be honest. All right. In the meantime, let me try that again. It's a bit annoying, but in the meantime, let me tell you though a bit of a small promotion. Perhaps I do apologize for that, but as we're just waiting a few minutes here for me to get that restarted. If you're interested in HARP, just a heads up, you can basically get HARP in a way for free, although it will take a bit of time to be fully transparent. Um, One of the options could be to open an account with Admiral Markets through our link, which is here. You can always ask us for the link if you that. And then for every 1.5 minis, we do have a special bonus this year, basically. And signing up, not only signing up, but also then, and we would triple that amount. Basically, we're not only giving money back and a bit more, but we're adding to that. So basically, everything there in that part. So it's so you get three. That could add up, and you can use that as a discount to order. If you're interested, that could be one way to do it. And so perhaps you find that it's not only because of that, but also because Admiral Markets has a lot of good fiction with 56 additional features, trading, trade. It's the best MT4 broker. I wrote MT5. Sorry about that. Award. So maybe that's something for you to consider. That could be something for you. So if you find it interesting, the special bonus could specifically, give a big kick to that discount. We triple it. So we're actually losing a bit in a way on that, but we do, think that that's okay because we just want to get you started, help you out at the beginning by giving a bit of a boost. So we're fine with that. All right. So this is the way. The other way could be to take the discount that's available to the end of November, and there's a €1,500 discount. And if you only want a HARP, it's therefore brought down to 1390, €100. And you can use the voucher, which is November special. If you want more info, you can use this link. And if you want to order, you can use that link. All right, so it depends. And the info you can find on our main website too. The order page is hidden, so you would have to use this LA currency/global. All right. I'm maybe I think it's just a webinar that's a bit too much. Let me stop the presenting for a second. And in the meantime, let me try to was a bit awkward. It was just working fine this morning, and the template is not working now. That's a bit annoying, as you can imagine. And I don't want to waste your time either. We have a webinar, by the way, in 45 minutes, which would not have these problems. I'll just use a different template. All right, so that's 45 minutes from now. We'll take a look at calculating the probabilities of your trading. So that's something that we will look at in 45 minutes. You can use the same website, basically, the same page. Just scroll a bit lower, you'll find Forex Quant. Click on play, and you'll see that in 45 minutes from now. And we'll take a look at how you can basically estimate the odds of a setup, which has the biggest impact on the probability of a setup, which factors, how to assess the development of a trade, and how to basically have an idea about the odds of such a setup. Alrighty. Well, maybe I should. You know what? I have a better idea. I'm not sure why I'm wasting my time with this. I'll have to solve this later. Let me just start a new template. That's actually a lot better. I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier, actually. Do that right now. That makes a lot more sense. So we got pound USD on our list. So let's start with the pound USD. Let me do that right now. And let me share the screen actually first of all, because otherwise you don't see anything, obviously. There we go. All right. So what we do is we go to the 1 minute chart, and we have a special template that shows the volatility of the market. When we do that is because we want to adjust the range bar settings for adjusting it to a situation where we're in sync basically with the market momentum. Because if the market is quick, then we want to have a lot of volatility, then we want to have a higher range bar setting. If the market is a bit lower or slower, then we want to have a lower volatility setting for the range bars, so that we're kind of having this optimal level. And we have a special calculation that is automated. And at this point, you can see that the optimal range bar setting is 8.5. So what we're going to do is round it up to 9. So we're looking for a 9 range bar chart. So that's pretty easy. Just look at this indicator, and it gives the reading. And we have this indicator here, so we can automatically start that range bar setting with 9, which is pretty cool. We just click this button, and we have the range bar chart. All right. So it's that simple. So sorry I didn't think about that earlier. Just had in my mind I will go to the template. I'll try to fix that later on, and it's overloading it. So there you have the range bar, right? So the only thing you need to do is simply just add the template. Now I'm going to show you a basic template, because the reason why is because we have a lot of indicators on it, proprietary indicators, and we do not want to. Basically, we trust you, but there are people out there that could want to use our copy that. Then we have to protect this way of trading for not so that there's not unwanted distribution of what we are showing here. So, but this is therefore a simple chart. All right, so there are normally more indicators and things to look at than only what we're doing, but we're looking at the basic kind of chart. All right, I just hit the wrong button here. Technology is not on my side, as you can see. Okay, there we are. Finally, we're back. Pound USD. All right. What we're looking for on the pound USD is a trend continuation. But if we look at the angle of the channel, we can actually see that for the pound USD, there is no setup at the moment. Right? The pound USD did have perhaps a setup somewhere in here when it made the first turn. That's actually a setup that I was discussing live in the Admiral Markets webinar around 151. Right, as soon as we get a red bar, basically what we're looking for, let me explain. We're looking for a pullback into the resistance zone of that channel, which we had here with the green circle. Then we're looking for the first that breaks back into the downtrend direction, which happened here a couple of times. So that's a zone where it's worth taking a short. All right, and price has already accelerated, so I'm 22 pips away from there. So if anything, either we're looking to take profits sooner at one point, or if you want to keep it translated into a swing trade, then I'd probably move it to break even at this point and just let it be and put a target around 150.30. So that is a trade that has already developed, either soon taking take profits or putting it at break even and letting the trade run. This is also something I talked about in the live webinar at Admiral Markets, this particular trade. So now the rules do not state that a new setup is ready to be taken. That's just some kind of elements that have to be taken into account when you have a live room. Not always is a trade ready according to the strategy rules, right? So that's something we have to live with. Now, the channel itself, one comment on the channel is the fact that it's actually pointing up at the moment. It's starting to turn from down, right? Obviously, we're in a downtrend here, and now it's pointing up, which is a signal that the pound USD is maybe losing a bit of steam. Now, it doesn't mean it cannot continue lower. It just gives us a warning signal that once the channel angle is up, that if price gets back into this zone, the trend is not as strong anymore. So looking for new shorts somewhere in here could be less interesting than shorts what happened this morning. That's the information it's saying. It doesn't say get out of the trade right now. It says that the next short potential might be less interesting. Long potential is still not there because the angle to the upside is very shallow. And of course, we know from our analysis template that we're actually looking for shorts. Okay, so I will close the pound now because that one has already occurred. So let's take a look at the Aussie. How's the Aussie doing? Is there any setup? Hopefully sometimes soon. Okay, we go to the 1 minute chart. And I'm looking for basically an indication of what the range is. Once again, I'm looking for the volatility momentum that's connected to it. And typically, you're going to see lower volatility readings on Aussie, on Euro, on Pound Yen, Euro Yen, which is typical for those kind of pairs. So what I would expect is the Aussie to be probably about the same as the pound, but let's take a look. On the average, I would say a range bar setting is typical 910. On the higher side, 1520. Kiwi is often on the lower side. And as you can see, I don't know what's happening with my platform this morning, but it is giving me a substantial headache. All right, let me try it again. Pull up the Aussie here. Now, the cool thing about those the channels basically is the fact, of course, that the channels indicate the zones of support and resistance, and because we already know what direction we're looking for to trade, we're looking for the opposite zone, right? In a downtrend, we're looking for the resistance zone. In an uptrend, we're looking for the support zone, and we all understand that, therefore, where price has to retrace to before it becomes interesting to trade. So it's a very quick kind of analysis, very quick way of analyzing the charts, and that's the benefit of using that particular tool, an indicator, that channel indicator. All right. Well, I have to that I'll have to fix. Let's use a different template. Let's use the normal charts and take a look at the Aussie like that. All right. And because I don't want to same process now. So basically, Aussie, just looking from a technical point of view, and by moving averages, you can see that a bounce spot. I prefer the Aussie, as I said in the Animal Markets website webinar, sorry, to break above the minus 272 target, which is about 73. All right, so I'm looking for a break above 73 before trading it to the upside. So, which is right here, this minus 272 target right there. All right, now 73. Once price breaks hit 73, I would like to see a bit of a pullback, something like this, for instance, and then a break of the bull flag probably here would indicate the continuation potential up to the minus 68, 61.8 target, which is 73, 360. All right, so something like this is what I'm looking for, and to trade roughly about here. That's what I'm looking for the Aussie, but it is already retracing effect now, a bit earlier than I expected. And from that point of view, let's take a look at the current pullback. We have an uptrend, so I think if it dips down to somewhere around 72.50, what is it, 72.25, excuse me, right here, bounces, that could be a good continuation trade. And looking for the follow through here, it could go deeper, maybe even all the way down to 72, 71.80, but basically either around 72.50 or 71.80, I would say, are good bouncing spots for upside. That's in general. Pound odd, just like the pound USD, looking for a 4-hour candle close that is bearish. And we just had that I think, no, this, no, the 4-hour candle still needs a few more minutes, I think. Let me take a look at this for pound USD. What I'm looking for is a 4-hour candle, a bearish candle on the pound for one more follow through to the downside, basically. And when pound USD closes with a bearish candle, then I would expect the follow through to happen and to see one more lower low on the pound USD. You can see that this is the 4-hour candle as we speak, right here. So if that closes anything like this, I'm looking for a retracement about halfway. I would put a fib on that 4-hour candle. And I'm looking for a retracement to the 38.2 fib or the 50 fib of that candle, which is around 50, 80, 59. And I'm looking for a follow through to the downside. I already was actually looking for shorts in Apple Markets webinar, but this is still an opportunity remaining, I think. And the same is true for other pound crosses, like pound New Zealand, pound odd. I think a strong 4-hour candle could be the signal for one more downside. If it doesn't happen, if it does happen, then I would be cautious with expecting more downside, because we already had 3 breakouts to the downside, and I'm not expecting more continuation. This should be the last before we see some retracement on the pound. Normally, you would see a currency pair weaken for a significant part of the week, but eventually you do see a retracement occur. You do see a bigger relief kind of. Therefore, after I would this week, yet another break, bit of retracement on Thursday or Friday on the pound. So the 4-hour candle just closed, so that the particular analysis kicks in now. This candle is a pretty good candle. It's a pretty strong bearish candle. So I'm expecting a bit of and then a continuation, I would say. And I think this has a pretty decent odds, a pretty decent probability. The stop loss could be above the candle high. And I think there's a pretty good R2R about probably 2 to 1 because the risk is about 30-ish pips and the reward is about 60. So that's pretty good. That's the pound pairs. And I think that's pretty clear with the 4-hour candles too. Now, from a range perspective, what I'll be looking for is not on the pound as yet set up, but on it could be on others. For instance, on the pound odd, be looking for basically range price to do something like this. No, I didn't want that. Yes, this is what I want. I want my drawing tool. Basically, look for price to get rid of this fib. Basically, to continue, make a pullback to the top of that channel zone. Look for a first turnaround at that channel zone resistance. Look for the first bearish range bars, and then look for a follow through to the downside. Right? So it's that simple with regard to that. Last but not least, the Kiwi. Looking for upside continuation as well, but price is at a resistance trend line. So I'll be a bit cautious with that at this moment. But the price could turn around, maybe back at this support level, or if it breaks out, could be interesting to look for a break, pullback, and continue as well. That's what I'm looking for on the Kiwi. Regarding the Euro odd, last but not least, excuse me. It looks like a good continuation, but I do have to warn you that there's divergence. Therefore, I'm a bit cautious with the Euro odd. Euro New Zealand also right at the bottom, some narrow crosses. But with the pound New Zealand, pound New Zealand, I'm looking for a retracement back to about 73.10 here. By the way, a bit of a pullback. And close bullish. So here too, there is a chance of a bit of retracement before continuation. So the pound odd and pound New Zealand look good, but after retracement, Euro odd and Euro New Zealand, I'm on hold at the moment. Aussie looks good for a bounce or break, pullback bounce, same like the Kiwi. And pound USD looks to be set for a small pullback and continue. That's my 2 cents on these particular pairs at least. And well, let's see how that goes. The setups with HARP are always pretty straightforward because you wait for the pullback, you wait for price to hit the zone of the channel, and then you just wait for a simple turnaround. So if you're interested in that, take a look at option 1. That's for free, but takes a bit of time maybe to build up, but you'll get a special acceleration bonus the next 3 months, or there is a potential of a discount for this week, the end of the November, November, using the voucher November special. And we'll hope to see you in the webinar 25 minutes from now. We'll take a look at how you can calculate odds using the 5 principles that Nenad and I have identified as key for understanding how likely your trade setup will work out or will not work out. So I hope to see you in that webinar as well. Cheers, everyone.